Hey everybody, Nick Dinger here again for another Construct 2 tutorial, still making Super Mario Bros. For video 15, we are going to program our pipes. Now, if you missed the last video, you are going to have to go down to the description and go to video 14 and get these pipes started, because in the last one we created an entry point, an exit point, and the camera. All three very important pieces to bring together the pipes. Now, do not forget the usage of these instance variables, okay? Have a quick look over them, remind yourself how they're going to work, because we're about to do a crap ton of programming. So, let's get right into it and not waste too much time. So, I'm going to make a new event sheet, and I'm going to call it pipes, just as you would expect. I'm going to include this event sheet, this new one, in event sheet number 1, like we've always done. And we're ready to go. I'm going to create 3 groups for our code in this particular event sheet. The first one is going to be called Mario Pipe Controls. The second one is going to be Mario Pipe Movement. And finally, Pipe Functions. Okay, so really the sort of self-explanatory, I guess. The Mario Pipe Controls is us being able to press a button and go enter a pipe. The movement is us controlling Mario going inside of a pipe and out of a pipe. And the functions, we're actually going to do the movement and do a couple of extra things, like move the camera around for us. So, let's start off. We need to add some global variables at the top of the script here. And these global variables we need because we've got different entry points and different exit points, so we need to keep track of what's going on. So let's create 4 global variables. The first one called pipe UID. And this is going to be the entry point that Mario goes into. So this is going to contain the pipe that Mario walks into to start with. Then we're going to have pipe Mario status. Now this guy is probably the most important one of all. He's going to have a number of special values. 0 means absolutely nothing. 1 means Mario is going down the pipe. And then 2 means Mario is coming out of the pipe. Okay? So remember those 3 numbers. 0 means just a regular status. 1 moving down, 2 moving out. Okay, you can always read it at the top there. We need 2 more global variables. Pipe movement total, which is how much Mario is going to move when he enters or exits any pipe in the entire world. And then we can have 1 more, which is going to be movement counter. Okay, and the idea is, as Mario starts moving, we increase the counter. When the movement counter hits the total, that's when we're finished moving. Okay, so it is now time for us to allow Mario to go down the pipes. So let's add a sub-event to this guy. I want you to click on this group. I want you to press S. And the first thing we need to do is see if Mario is actually touching a pipe entry. So you're going to go Mario is overlapping another object, pipe entry. Okay, just like so. Now we need to know which direction, which button he's actually pressed, because remembering from the last video, our pipe entry has a direction. If you look at the numbers down the bottom, the numbers are pretty self-explanatory. So if it's a down pipe, so Mario's going to go down, he needs to actually press the down key. So let's actually do this right now. Let's press S on number 2 for another sub-event. Keyboard. We're going to check if key pressed. We're going to check the down key. Alright. And the second thing we need to check is if the pipe entry is the same direction as the down key. So what I mean by that is if the pipe direction is 0 and they press the down arrow, then we're going to enter the pipe. So I want you to click on this event, press C on the keyboard, and you're going to go to pipe entry. We're going to compare an instance variable, and you're going to compare the direction to make sure it equals 0. So if he presses down and the direction is 0, he's going to enter the pipe. Now before we actually add the action, because the action is going to be a function that we haven't added yet, as you can see, let's add the other 3 directions. So right, up, and left. So I'm going to copy this guy, copy, paste, 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 3 times. Okay? I'm going to change this to the right arrow. I'm going to change this to the up arrow and the left arrow. And I'm going to change the numbers respectively. So 1 is right, 2 is up, 3 is left. Okay, so with that done, it's now time for us to add our first pipe function, which is called enter pipe. So if we click on this guy, press S for a sub-event. Okay, I'm going to go function on function, and we're going to call it enter pipe. Simple as that. Okay, let me zoom in a little. Okay. We're going to pass this function one thing, and that is the UID of the pipe entry. So let's say, let me go back to the level and I'll quickly explain it. We're standing over the top of that entry. They press the down arrow because the direction is 0. He's going to enter the pipe. Now the UID of this guy is 29. Now I need to remember that for a lot of the code that we're doing today. So long as I remember this UID, we can refer to the pipe entry as much as we want. So add action, you're going to go to system. You're going to go set value for your global variables. We're going to go pipe UID has the value of function.param 0. So the first parameter we send to this function is going to be the pipe entry UID. And we're going to use it straight away in here. I'm going to add a sub event to this guy and we're going to pick the pipe entry. So you're going to go pipe entry, type in the word unique, and you've got pick by a unique ID. Where's that number coming from? It's coming from pipe UID. And this is how we're going to use this pipe UID lots and lots and lots. Okay, we're going to see pick UID lots. I'm just going to move that so you can see it a bit better. There we go. The next thing is we need to set up Mario so he looks like a regular user and he goes down the pipe like you would expect him to. So we actually need to disable his controls, disable the platform behavior, change his animation, and then start sending him down the pipe. So pretty hefty. So let's do that now. Let's go to Mario. We're going to go to his Boolean variables, and we're going to set isActive to false. So he can't move. I'm going to stretch that out. I'm then going to go to Mario. I'm going to disable his platform. Okay. Stop his animation. And we're pretty much good to go. So now we need to, and this is the annoying part, set up these three guys at the top here. Alright, we need to change his status because he's going down the pipe. We need to set up the moving counter back to 0. And we're good to go. So let's go to System, Set Value. First thing is Mario status. Set that to 1. Next one, we're going to set value. We need to go to Moving Counter and make sure that's set to 0. So it basically resets and ready to go. Now you think that'd be well and truly ready to go, but unfortunately we're not. Okay? When Mario approaches these pipes, he has the opportunity of standing, let me just move him, almost anywhere. He can stand here, he can stand here, he can stand here, he can just be hanging off the edge, but so long as he's touching this entry point, he's still allowed to enter the pipe. So what we're going to do is when he goes to enter the pipe, we're going to move Mario to the middle of this pipe entry. Okay, and we're just going to make sure, let me move him up a little bit. We're going to make sure that we don't move Mario up and down. We're going to move him left and right. Okay. However, if we have a pipe that is turned like this one over here, we don't want to move Mario left and right, but we want to move him up and down. So to show you what the hell I am talking about, I'm going to add a sub event to this guy. And we're going to check the pipe direction. So pipe entry, compare instance variable, check the pipe direction, and we're going to check if it's 0, because 0 is down. But we're also going to check if the pipe direction is up, because up and down are going to have the exact same behavior. So first thing, add another condition, do the same thing, pipe entry, compare, direction is 2, and I'm going to turn this into an OR block. So right click over here and make OR block. So if the direction is 0 or it's 2, then we're going to do this action, which is move Mario into the middle of the pipe entry. So Mario, set position, okay, the X value is going to be the pipe entry dot X, and that puts him in the middle of the pipe entry object. And the Y, we don't move Mario, so you just set it back to Mario.Y. Okay, so that probably seems a bit weird, but it means that when Mario goes down the pipe, he's going down the middle of the pipe rather than on the side of the pipe. And I'm actually going to copy and paste this, and we're going to do the horizontal one. So copy, paste, that's going to be a 1 for right, that's going to be a 3 for left. And then we're going to do the opposite here. We're going to keep Mario's X the same, but move his Y value. So Mario.X, and that one's going to be pipe entry.Y. Okay, so with that done, it's now to quickly use this function. So hopefully all that made a bit of sense. Now we get a call upon it up here. So to do so, just go add action here. Go function, call function. What are we calling? We're calling enter pipe. And the only parameter we need to send to it is the UID of the pipe entry. And you only need to do pipe entry.uid. Okay? And we're going to do that the same for every single one of these events here. Copy, paste, paste, paste. Okay. As always, you should probably test your code. The only unfortunate part is it's not going to do much. All it's going to do is disable Mario's behavior, put him in the middle of the pipe, and wait ready to go. So I'm going to save, as I always do. Run the layout. Let me grab my window. Press down. And you'll see that the Goombas stopped moving because Mario's not active anymore. To make that a bit more illustrative, I'll move him to the side. Press down. And he's ready to go. Okay. That might look a little bit weird, but that's the first stage for entering a pipe. Now what we need to do is grab Mario and physically pull him down into the pipe. And when we finish up, we then push him back out to the exit pipe. Alright, that's it for the moment. Let's continue on for the next bit of code. And for this part, we're obviously going to do most of the coding in the Mario pipe movement. So I suppose the question really is, what triggers off his movement and what do we actually do here? So quickly, when Mario's status equals 1, that's when we know we're going to start moving Mario down the pipe, okay? So whatever direction this pipe UID indicates is which direction we're going to move Mario. And then what we do is every pixel we move Mario, we increase the counter by 1, and as soon as that counter matches the total, we're finished moving him down the pipe, and then we swap to Mario coming out of the pipe. So let's implement the movement now. I'm going to add a sub event, so let's press S, and I'm going to do it for every, oops, sorry, you got to go system first, and I'm going to go every X seconds, and this is not a good idea to use small numbers in the every X seconds, but we're just going to do this as a matter, whoop, it's 0.03 seconds, so it happens quite often. It's, as I said, not a good idea, but we can do it. Then we're going to collect the pipe entry. Okay, so unique, and it's pipe underscore UID. Okay, so every 0.03 seconds, pick the pipe. We're going to check if Mario is going down the pipe. So let's go to system, compare variable, Mario status equals 1. That means he's moving down the pipe. Now we need to check if the total is less, or sorry, the counter is less than our total. So system, and we're going to go compare to, oh no, we can compare variable. And we're going to go, if the counter is less than, dunk, the pipe movement total, then we're going to move Mario 1 pixel and then add to the counter. All right. So we actually need to implement a new function. Okay. Don't know if I'm going to be able to type in the function. It's called move Mario, and then we need to send it the direction we move Mario. So it's pipe entry dot pipe direction. Okay. So we're obviously about to create this function as soon as we finish up here, and this is the direction we want to move in. Okay. So the function needs to know which direction we move Mario. We're going to go to system, and we're going to add 1 to the good old pipe counter. All right, and that's going to build up until it gets to the total, and then Mario will stop moving. Then obviously when he finishes moving, we're going to move him to the exit pipe, but right now we need to implement that move Mario function. So let's do that here. I'm going to add a sub event to this guy. All right, the sub event is going to be function on function. It's obviously going to be called move Mario. Yeah, there he is. And first of all, we need to check what direction they've sent to us, okay? Because if we're moving down, then we need to move 1 pixel at angle 90 degrees, right is 0 degrees, up is 270, left is 180 degrees. I've mentioned that 100 times in these videos, but just as a check. So we need to check a variable. I think we might be able to do it through function these days. Here it is, compare parameter 0. If it equals 0 itself, that means we're moving down. So let's go to Mario, let's move him at angle. Angle is 90 degrees for downways, distance just 1 pixel. Okay? So if we, let's go here, if we move down 1 pixel, we add 1 to the movement counter, and this happens again the next 0.03 second. Alright, so we need to do the other 3 directions, so copy, paste, paste, paste. So if parameter 0 equals 1, that's right, then up, then left. So remember those, because right is 0, then up is 270. I know I'm doing this a bit backwards, but I'm keeping it the same order. And then left is 180. And that's the move Mario function done. Now, if I hit play, hopefully when I click down, he's going to move down the pipe. I say hopefully, just in case something goes wrong. Press down. There you go. So Mario actually moves down the pipe, and we're good to continue. Now, obviously, he's not doing anything because we need to implement the next section. So, let's go up. This here is so long as the counter is less than the total, so less than 32, it's going to move him down. Once it hits 32, that's the counter that is, then it's not going to move anymore, and we need to go to the exit pipe. So we're actually about to make a new function, but before we do, I'm going to add an else. So as soon as the counter equals the total, this is going to trigger, and we're going to call a function. So call function move to, to exit pipe. So obviously we're going to write that function. We don't need to send it any extra parameters for this one. And we're going to implement that function now. So I want you to click S. I'm going to minimize these because they're done. Click S on the pipe functions. Let's go function on function move to exit pipe. And then let's add some code. Now this one's a little bit awkward. The first thing we need to do is find out what the exit pipe is. And that comes from the pipe entry. So a quick rehash if that doesn't make sense. Here's pipe entry. Here is the exit UID. We need to grab this exit UID and then select the actual pipe exit that has that number and send Mario to it. So that's the first set of things we need to do. So first of all, let's select the pipe entry. So pipe entry, type in unique, just like we've always done, pipe UID. There it is. Okay, so select pipe entry with the pipe UID. Now going to pick the pipe exit. So as a sub event, so press S, pipe exit, type in unique, and then we go pipe entry because it comes from pipe entry. Well, if it lets me press enter on it, and then we go pipe exit UID. So pick the pipe exit which has the same UID as the one that pipe entry is referring to. Then we set Mario to its position. So Mario set position to another object, and simply just go pipe exit because Construct is going to know exactly which one we're talking about because we've just picked the exact one that we want him to go to. Now, that's all well and good. That's going to move Mario to the exit pipe, but what's not going to happen is the camera isn't going to be set up properly. So what we need to do is we need to pick the camera that pipe entry refers to. So it's another sub-event. All right, so I'm going to go pipe camera, unique, and we do pipe entry, just like we did before, dot pipe camera. UID. So pick the camera that pipe entry is referring to. Then what we're going to do is we're going to move the actual camera in our game to the position of that pipe camera. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Camera, set position to another object, just going to type in camera, and we got pipe camera. So set position of the camera to our pipe's camera. All right. With that done, we're going to tell Mario he's ready to start moving again. So let's go pipe. So system set value Mario status 2. Okay, because remember Mario status 2 means he's coming out of the pipe. Okay, and that's going to affect our movement function up here. All right, the next thing is we need to set the movement counter back to 0. So set value movement counter 0. Alright, and the final thing we're going to do is we had that extra setting on the pipe entry of if we want to disable the main camera after exiting the pipe or not. So we're going to add a sub event to this guy, and we're going to check if pipe entry tells us to disable the camera or not. So pipe, it's a Boolean instance variable, there's camera disable there. Okay, so is camera disable? If it is, what we're going to do, we can't exactly go, so we're going to disable the main camera. There's nothing called disable, there's nothing called enabled, like if you have a look at all this. Now we could change the scroll too, but what I decided to do is I want to change the collisions enabled. Alright, I'm going to set this to disabled, and we're going to have to modify our camera code just slightly to include this new little functionality. Okay, and I'm going to copy and paste this, and I'm going to invert. Okay, so I pressed I on the keyboard to do that, and I'm going to enable the collisions. Okay, so if camera disable is true, then we disable the camera, or sort of. And then if the camera is not disabled, then we re-enable it. Okay, so this will be going to a secret room. This will be coming out to the real world, if that makes sense. So to quickly set up this to be enabled, we're going to go over to the Mario sheet, and we're going to add a little bit of code just here. So right here, this is where we're moving the camera. So I want you to add a second condition here. We're going to go to camera, and we're going to go to collisions, and collisions enabled. That's the only modification that we need to make. So if Mario's X is greater than the camera's X and the collisions are enabled, then we move the camera. So while the collisions are disabled, the camera can't move. Okay? And where were we? Pipes. So that's that done, and it's probably a good idea to give it a test. So we'll hit run layout. Hopefully we move down the pipe. It moves us to the exit, and the camera's in the right spot. Now, my camera, the actual camera object, this orange thing, I could probably move to the left, and that'll fix up the position of the level. And in fact, I might do that now just to reflect what I've been talking about. Oop. See if that works. Let's go down the pipe again. There we go. So that's fixed it up. So you'll see the issue. Now Mario's sitting right here behind the pipe. He's now set in status 2. He's coming out of the pipe. We need to update our movement code. Here. To move him down out of the pipe. So I'm going to add a sub event to this guy again. Click. And we're going to check his Mario status is 2. And then we need to grab the exit. So let's go system, compare variable, if Mario's status equals 2. Right, another condition, people. Let's press C again. We're going to pick the exit pipe that we're coming out of. Okay, and we're going to go unique. Now, because we've already picked the pipe entry here, which knows which one the pipe exit is, we can actually just type in pipe entry dot pipe exit UID, and that will grab it for us. All right, and then we literally have the same sort of code that we have here, except for instead of the pipe entry dictating the direction, it's now the pipe exit. So I'm going to copy and paste these two things just here. Make sure they're a sub event. Okay, if you didn't see what I did there, grab those corners, drag that on top of here, and I'm just going to change this one. So double click, instead of pipe entry, we could do pipe exit, and hopefully, if I save, I'm going to delete that because that's not going to help us. And we're almost done. So let's just press play, make sure he pops out of the pipe, down the pipe, out of the pipe. Now I'm still disabled, so the last thing we need to do is turn Mario back into a normal Mario. So this action, we're going to set the Mario status to 0 because that's really important to indicate nothing is going on. We're going to re-enable Mario's platform behavior. Mario, whoop, set enabled to enabled. And then finally, we're going to set Mario's is active back to true. And that should, these three things should hopefully re-enable Mario and send him on his way. So let's hit run layout. Let's make sure it works. Down we go. Bloop. And then let's go, oh, the camera's not disabled for some reason. And there we go. How good is that? Okay, Mario's popping in and out. Let me just have a quick look at why, oh, I died. Fantastic. Why the camera moved? Just one sec. Alright, I'm an idiot. The reason it's not working is because if I go to the main level, if I go over to my pipe entry, I've actually set the camera disabled to false. So if I set that to true, that should hopefully fix the camera issue. Go down. Bloop. The camera doesn't move, as you can see. And I can go into the pipe, and out I come. Now, I know Mario does flicker slightly when he comes out of the pipe. He sort of goes from a jumping animation to a normal walking animation. But to tell you the complete truth, that's probably the nicest thing I could come up with. There's probably a little polishing that could be done, but it works. It works pretty darn well, if you ask me. The last thing that we really need to do is set all these bad boys to invisible. So camera, the entry point, and the exit should all be invisible. And that way, when we play the game, everything just looks a little bit nicer. And there's no blue and orange blocks everywhere. Ha! That looks awesome. Okie doke. So the next video, everybody, we are going to be attacking the HUD. We're finally going to get the coins counter, the timer up the top, and the level number. And we're going to have points when you jump on enemies and get items. So we're coming close to the end. Really, all we need to do now is the HUD, points, music, obviously, and sounds. They're the big things. And we're pretty much done. The last one's going to be the flagpole. which is going to be great fun because that'll bring us right to the end. So I reckon we've got about 3 or 4 videos to bring this series to a head. And thank you very much for watching, everybody. The like and subscribe and comment sections down the bottom. I'd love to hear from you. But this is me signing off. I'm going to see you in video 16, everybody. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta for now.